What's up, everybody? Jason Guyman here, and tonight we're going to talk a little bit about marketing in 2026, what I think it's going to be, and what we can expect for our marketing in 2026. And so, this is something that I am going to be looking at for talking about tonight about pressure washing and Christmas lights. I think that a lot of they're going to kind of come together, but I will we'll start out probably with pressure washing and then we'll move into Christmas lights at the end of this video if there's anything that is a little bit different. Because at the end of the day, Google business is Google business. Whether we do it for pressure washing or we do it for Christmas lights, really doesn't matter. It's just a matter of what's going to work in 2026. So, this was a good week for me. I have started doing 75 hard. I've been at it. I actually started last Monday, so I'm at like 8 or 9 days in, and I have lost 8 pounds. So I started out at 292, and 2 days ago I weighed myself on Monday, and I was down to 284, and I was pretty excited about that. And that's something that, if you don't know what 75 hard is, it's 2 exercises a day, 45 minutes. One of them has to be outside. It's a gallon of water. It's read 10 pages of a book and take a picture of yourself. And so that's what I've been doing. And so it is a lot of fun doing it. I feel a lot better. And so that's kind of where we are with it. So my book of the week is going to be my favorite book, which is Think and Grow Rich. I've had lots of conversations. I was going back and forth whether I should talk about marketing in 2026 or getting off the truck in 2026. So I decided to go with marketing because I feel like there's going to be some changes and that are not just the normal whatever it might be. You know, there's some things that came out with Apple today that's going to change some things that I feel like it will change some things that will change the way things are. And so that's going to also be something that will be moving forward. So that's where we are with that. So how are you all been doing this week? I know that the cold spell has even went down to my friends down here in Florida. And so I've seen that the manatees will be all up in there. So that's where it has definitely gotten cold. Today it dropped like a rock. Yesterday was like almost 60 degrees, and right now it's like 24 degrees. And so it got cold really, really fast. And we're supposed to get some snow and all kinds of good stuff. We got Carrie Bozeman in the house. How are you doing? Let's go. We got Papa Dura. Is that the picture of your son, Jason? No, it's not a picture of my son. It's just an AI photo that I was trying to get it to do, and it didn't do what I wanted to do, but I was running out of time, so I just had to make it work. Sometimes you just got to make it work. But I have shaved off my beard. Jason Hefner said I look 15 years younger, so that's a good thing to always have, right? What's up, Jason? New guy to the industry. Excited to scale a commercial business in San Antonio, Texas. My goal is, Jason put, my goal is 100 plus yard signs a month, 5 rounds every day. So this is a good question. So what's your take on the secret that is the Think and Grow Rich? Stay warm, brother. So a lot of it has to do with mindset. And I know that a lot of times people are like, that doesn't grow my business, but it does. Because if you don't believe in yourself and if you don't think that you can achieve it, then you're probably right. You're not going to achieve it. It's no different than when I hear people tell me that, you can't get this in their area. And I'm like, have you tried? And they're like, yeah, I tried one time. And it's like, okay, you got told no once, but then you quit. And so when you look at the Think and Grow Rich, it's definitely a mindset shift. It's a different way of thinking and a different way of believing than we were all raised, because depending on how you were raised is going to determine on how that might affect you. Have to do a $2,800 job tomorrow in the freezing cold rain. But Jason, I thought you couldn't make no money down in Florida. So let's get the show started of marketing in 2026. So I'm going to start off with the basics. And so one of the things that is interesting that just happened today that was released is that Apple is actually going to go with Google Gemini for the AI, which is interesting because Apple originally went with ChatGPT. So that's going to change up some things. That's going to be interesting to see how well Chat is going to be able to respond to this. Because the reason why I'm saying this is because if you go into AI mode of Gemini or Google or any of them, it looks a little different than typical Google, right? And so this is going to be interesting for the map section for sure. So first off, for both business, Christmas lights and pressure washing, is Google My Business or Google Business Profile is definitely something that we need to be able to get up and running and help us, because this allows us to get our reviews. This allows us to get our pictures, our posts. This allows us to show us that we're human, that we show up on jobs. And so this is something that I think that 2025 or 2026 is definitely going to help you grow your business. And so you showing your vehicle in front of the neighborhood, you showing your picture in front of the house with your employee. These are all things that are going to help separate you from your competitors, because they're probably not going to be doing this stuff. And so with that, I feel like Google Business Profile is still going to be big for you in 2026. Now, the next thing is I think that social media is still definitely going to be very good for people. I feel like video is going to be good. I feel like this year personal branding is definitely something that is more and more of what you need to do, because personal branding is definitely something that in 2026 I feel like Google is going to also allow you to do that too. So again, that is definitely something that I feel personal branding. And so like I'm going to use, for instance, certain people that I know that do this very well, as in Bobby Duncan, as in Barry Little, as in Savannah and Andrew down in Florida. Both of these people, all these people are doing very well with their social media and their personal branding. And this is something that has grown their business. So that is one thing. Another way, I still feel like yard signs are going to be king. They always are. I know you might get whatever, but yard signs work amazing. I'm going to go back to another social media one, is LinkedIn. Using LinkedIn is definitely going to help you get more commercial work. LinkedIn is amazing at commercial work. I love LinkedIn for commercial work. Benjamin Gregory does very well. Good. He does a couple $1 million off of LinkedIn. Whether that's Christmas lights, pressure washing, it can get you in front of the right people that can help you a lot. Like Christmas lights, I know 2 people this year, right in the beginning, got $20,000 hotel jobs off of LinkedIn. So that's how important LinkedIn is. And so, how are we using LinkedIn? I feel like LinkedIn is very important for you to go out there and crush it for your LinkedIn. Next is in our paid area. Um, Google LSA for pressure washing is amazing. Um, I like it better than just regular Google ads, but Google ads do well depending on your area. But I know a lot of people that have crushed it with LSA, Google LSA ads. They're pretty simple to put up. It doesn't take a whole lot to put them up, and so that is something that I feel like Google LSA will definitely be a contender for 2026. Now, we have SEO, or website, which is, you're going to need a website. Your website does help out your Google ad or your Google business profile, which is still going to be something that you're going to need to do. So that's another thing that you can do for Google local service ads. Next, I think that things that I believe that are going to change is way AI is going to change, and it is starting to change a whole lot. Like right now, you will be so one of the things is if you don't have pricing on your website, I feel like it's going to hurt you, because you're already seeing where Google local, or where Google can go get 3 quotes. And so that's Google doing it through their AI system of going and getting these 3 quotes. And it wouldn't surprise me before long, as they get these 3 quotes, is that when they get these 3 quotes, it might be an AI person calling you to get a quote for these people. So it's going to be interesting to see how AI is going to change, because I've just seen earlier this week where you'll be able to buy stuff off of ChatGPT and Gemini and these here, and never go to the website. Like, you never go to the website, and you actually start buying it off of ChatGPT, and you start buying it out of Google local service ads. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in 2026. And I know a lot of times the old timers are like, all these new people are coming in here and starting to rank, taking over. Well, it's because a lot of the old people are just doing the same thing they've been doing for the last 15 years, 10 years, and then they're not keeping up with the times. I was actually talking to my friend Mike, and Wildcat Pressure Washing down in Lexington, Kentucky, had the number 1 ranking for a long time. And they just lost it, and the whole website just fell off, and they actually took the website down, because it's interesting to see how some of these younger guys that are able to keep up with it, making sure that the websites are definitely working, and it's definitely getting interesting to see how things are changing. I know that times of people with AI think, oh, that's dumb, but let me tell you something. It's coming, whether you like it or not. It is coming in. It's going to change a whole lot real quick. Now, some of the things that still work that still work is door hangers, door knockers. Both of those still can work. EDDM is another one that if you get it dialed in right, can make you a lot of money. I've got people that are doing a couple 100,000 off of EDDM and every door direct mail. And so it is definitely something that you have to have the right offer, the right picture, send it the right day, right? There's things that you need to make sure of, but it can work with you very, very well for you at the end of the day. So those are my things of what I think 2026 is going to bring. I think that as the marketing gets one of the things that I feel like 2026 is going to be a put people ahead of other people is networking. I feel like networking is definitely something that the interaction with other people is huge because we've kind of gotten so much with social media where we're all in our own little bubble, but people like to meet other people. And so when you build that network and you have your know, like, and trust, it definitely helps you out a lot. And I mean a lot, a lot. And so networking is definitely something that I feel like it is really, really good for you to do. Um, some things too for marketing wise, I see that referrals. I know a lot of times we don't always ask for our referrals. We should be asking for our referrals as much as we're asking for our reviews. Because if we can get them to refer us, we know that our average ticket is going to be higher. We know that our close rate is going to be higher. And so, if referrals are another way to get more business for you in your business. And so, referrals is definitely something that we don't push a lot, but why don't we push? Why don't we ask? Do you know one person that might need our pressure washing or our Christmas lights or whatever service you're offering? Because referrals are definitely giving you more. Michael says we give 10% for referral, and that's, if you're going to spend 10% in marketing anyway, then why not give it to one of your customers? Because that's definitely a great idea for you to get them to, ask for it. So that's a good idea. So, what do you think? I want to see in the comments. What are your thoughts on this year for marketing? Do you think it's going to be the same? Do you think it's going to change? What have you changed anything? You know, I feel like one of the things is customer relations, right? Your customer, how do you treat your customers? And this is something that is important that's going to get you more referrals. It's going to get you more repeats. And that is something that is definitely important for you to keep growing this business. And so, one of the things that my wife went and got her car done the other day, and I actually did it a while ago for my truck, and they literally take a picture, they go and do a video. So, what are you doing different than your competitors? Are you letting them know informed? Are you, when you get done with your pre-checklist, are you texting them saying, hey, Miss Jones, we just ran through our pre-checklist. Everything looks good. All windows are closed, all screens, or you know what? We did do the pre-checklist, and these are a couple things that we found. Everything else was good, but this is some things that were found, just letting you know. And then at the end of the job, are you taking a video and saying, hey, and chopping up of, this is during this part, this is this part, and we send them that video and say, hey, Miss Jones, this is going to be your technician. You could even do it in video of the checklist. Hey, Miss Jones, I just got, I'm Jason, I'm the technician today, especially if they're not home. I'm your technician today. Here's the checklist that I just did. And you can put that checklist on your website so that way people know your checklist. And then you can tell them that, hey, everything looks good, all the windows are closed, all the doors closed, but we did find this one screen that's damaged right over here, and we found this is damaged. Just letting you know before we get started, we're going to get started, and it's going to, your house is going to look amazing when we're done. Then at the end of the job, you can say, hey, Miss Jones, we just got done. It looks amazing. It came out clean. Show a couple of the four sides. Just something, what are you doing different? What are you doing different? But Jason, that takes time, and yeah, it does. But do you want to go from 50,000 to 250,000? Do you want to be different? These are ways that will separate you from your competitors. 5 rounds. If you're not busy, then you do 20 rounds, right? You go 10 doors that way, cut across, do 10, 30 round, whatever it might be. So there's ways that we can get business. It's just a matter of you got to go out there and get it. It's not easy. And a lot of it is going to be answering the phone. I feel like I know that answering the phone is still a big thing. It's going to be interesting with all the AI answering the phones. Is that going to help people or is that not? Right? Are you going to get jobs faster or not? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's worth a try, right? So, with that, what's your all's questions? Um, Clark put yes. Working on setting up links through ChatGPT for our new store. We're getting ready. We're setting up for installers. Um, let's see here. Michael put, we killed it this year for on holiday lighting. When the market is so saturated up here, we got more customers for the year already because Joe Blow putting lights up so cheap they never came back for them to take them down, took their lights down. Lights got new clients. It's not always about being the cheapest for sure. You know, I was watching Roger Wakefield. I don't know if any of you watch him or not. He's a plumber, and he's got a pretty big YouTube channel. And he was talking about this here. He was actually on Social Media Marketing Examiner's podcast today, and he was Actually, I think it was on January 1st is when he was on, and he was talking about the know, like, and trust and giving value, right? Don't be lowering your price just to lower your price to be with somebody else that you're trying to compete with. If you want to compete on price, then let them go compete on price. But we're here about value, and answering your phone is value. Getting to them quickly, a quote, is value. It's important. And so, giving them three options, that's giving them value because that's letting them decide, not you decide. So there's things to think about when we're trying to think differently of way we can. Can we use AI to book a house wash through our websites? Um, I don't know. I know you can do like that with Responsibid, where they can book the actual thing for Responsibid. I'm sure there is a way to do it through AI through the house wash. You'd probably have to set something up with like Make or N8, N8, N8N. And basically, what it would do is it would have to be an automation that would actually look at your calendar, and then you would have book times that it could book it in that time. So that's another way that we could do that. So, so Clark, if you're going to start your own, why don't you go get your own group and start your own group then? I mean, it doesn't matter if you're starting out at 50,000 or 200,000. The reason why I've gotten guys to $1 million or 1.2 million or more is because they take my advice. And at the end of the day, it's not about being whatever, you know. It's about being. There's no special sauce at the end of the day. You know what the special sauce is? Taking action. That's the special sauce. I mean, there is no special sauce. You know, that's the thing that separates people from winning versus losing. You know, are you spending money on ads? Are you investing in, actually I shouldn't say it that way. Are you investing in your business, or are you thinking that it's not? So it's definitely something that it is what it is. For Christmas lights. What CRM do you recommend for pressure washing? There's a lot of them out there. Um, a lot of them out there. And I'll just tell you right now, there is no one best CRM out there. There's not. Like, there's not one that's just amazing at everything. Each CRM has their little things that they're good at, but there's none that's just like, and this is what I mean, right? There's plenty of CRMs out there that if you're just doing invoicing and sending that's it, right? But then there's none for like setting up the your emails out, right, and sending text out, and There's things out there that you can make and it does okay. I know. So like Responsibid, it it wasn't a CRM, but it was great at giving you the packages. It was great at sending out the emails and text, but it wasn't. You still had to have another third party to send the invoice, which I heard a rumor that that's going to have their own CRM eventually. But that's one, right? Jobber, it does great for when you have multiple trucks. When you have two, three, four trucks, it does great for that. But the follow up is not as good, right? You know, Marquate. Marquate's the lower end. Customer factor is on the lower end. A lot of people use customer factor. There's people use customer factor forever. There's quote IQ. There's all kinds of them. And then there's more and more coming out. The biggest thing I would say is with a CRM is pick one and use it. Because if you put garbage in a CRM, guess what you get out of the CRM? I know people that pay a lot of money for a CRM, and all there is a database for them of just their invoicing. And you're not using it for repeat customers, right? Are you sending out an email every month, a newsletter every month? Are you texting them every 2 to 3 months to see if they need anything? Are you calling your past customers and getting them to book more work for you? Right? Those are all things that are going to separate you and get you more repeat business from your customers. If you have a customer base of 1,000 people or 5,000 people, then why are we not sending out emails, sending out text, sending out, calling them? You can do voice bombs. You can do all kinds of things. But people will be like, well, I ain't got time for that. You're literally leaving money on the table because you're chasing all these new clients that when you got all these old clients, we're not even doing nothing with them. And we know that it's way cheaper to get repeat business than it is to get new business. But yet we won't spend any money on our old customers to be able to send out text, to be able to send out emails, to make sure that we're sending out those emails and text and doing a newsletter and doing things different is way we can definitely get more money in our bank by doing that. So that's what I would say on the whole side of your CRM. And I know that probably didn't answer your question of which one. I mean, if you try some of them out, like you can try Jobber out, you can try different ones out. ChristmasLights.io/Jobber is my affiliate link if you want to try it out. I think it's got a free thing. You wash houses in the wintertime? If it's above 35, 40 degrees, the answer is yes. DJ went and cleaned, I think he cleaned 2 or 3 last week. So, yes, definitely. Hi, Jason. Landing pages, short and punchy or lots of details? That's a good question. Depends on what that page is for, right? If you're sending them from Google Ads, like if you're paying Google Ads, you want it short and sweet and get them bought, right? If you're looking for more of SEO and that kind of stuff, we're going for the longer pages. We're going to the 1,500, 2,000 words is where we kind of want to be at. So it really depends on like what you're trying to do. If you're doing SEO, search engine optimization, then I would go for your city pages. Right now, your service pages and your city pages are your money pages for the SEO side of things. Kings of Kings. Let's see here. What are some of the best recommended mass customer texting platforms? Jobber only seems to do mass customer email campaigns. I get through booking through there. So one of the things would be Like I said, Responsibid does pretty well at this. Go High Level does this. It's not an easy platform, but it can do a lot of the mass text and emails, and it will link up with jobbers. So when you close the job, it automatically you can send out the text and emails. When you get the quote, you can start sending texts and emails. When you go to schedule the job, it'll do a trigger and it'll do the text and emails. So Go High Level is definitely one way that you can do that. When do I start outreaching for Christmas lights? And the answer is now. Honestly, go to some of these businesses that still have their lights up and be like, hey, do you need Christmas lights next year? Because we make sure we get them down by now. And we go to their neighbors and talk to them about Christmas lights. And so those are all different things of way to do it. And so because here's the thing, you want to start finding out who are the HOAs and who are the facility managers, because a lot of people, especially the HOAs, are making their budget before July and August. And so you want to be able to get your name in there so that they can get their Christmas lights up for next year. The customer factor, 8 years in, $45 a month. I am going to use Quote IQ. Last year, I bought equipment to take action. Took 401 loan for a quick broke down and didn't get to do it, but this year I'm starting with a brand new truck. Thanks, sir. Will 200 feet of hose drop a lot of pressure on a 4 gallon a minute? It can. Um, I would probably stick at the 150, 200 foot, unless you absolutely need the 250, but typically you don't. Um, most time you don't, I shouldn't say. And so I would just keep it 150, 200, and then keep those other pieces connected. One of the problems you may run into is if you do 250, it's going to give, if you're downstreaming, it's going to give you, it's a possible that it might give you too much pressure and it won't turn the downstreamer on. So that is one of the issue, because when you're trying to shove that hose there, it's making that pressure go up. And so that's what causes you the issue in that pressure drop. So that's why you may not pull bleach if you're at 250 feet. That's another reason why you may not want to go 250. So what what are you guys going to do this year in marketing? What are some things that what is your goal this year, and what are you going to do to get to that goal? Because if we don't have a plan and a plan of action, then how can we get there? That's like shooting a shotgun just straight up in the air and hoping to hit the bird, right? We got to put our sights to be able to see where we want to shoot at to be able to get there. And so that's definitely something that we want to look at. What kind of lift should I rent to wrap a tree higher it's in grass? I would probably look at, if you can do the pull behinds, like the 50-foot pull behinds, those are nice because then you can pull them behind. But if it's in grass, that's going to make it a little bit harder. Depending on how far it is in the grass, you're going to make sure that that it's done. Otherwise, you'll need to get one of the driving ones. You can get the little 50-footer that'll drive, and then you'll still have to put outriggers down. So you'll have to put boards down as you drive so you don't mess up the grass. Let's see. Going to be ready this year, and I work at DHL Express CVG 4 days a week, third shift, and I'm going to plan on the job days for nights. I work 3 to 5 on nights. So I don't lose everything. Yep, there's plenty of money around. Just get them. Depend on how are you going to get your business, right? What are you going to do for marketing? That's the main thing, because if we don't get the phone to ring, it doesn't matter what kind of equipment we have. You can have $100,000 worth of equipment and it doesn't do you no good. You can have $100,000 worth of Christmas lights It doesn't do you no good. If you don't know how to do the marketing and get the phone to ring, that's the most important part. Getting the phone to ring, answering the phone is is more important than getting the phone to ring. And so answering that phone is super important. If you need this when you're sleeping, make sure you find someone that can answer the phone. Hopefully, you can find someone that can answer the phone for you because the phone is super important. You got it. It doesn't matter. Like I said, you can have all the equipment and you got to get the phone to ring. And so, whether you put out 100 signs a month, 200 signs a month, 50 signs a week, whether you're on Facebook, doing the net, the groups, whatever that might be, is what you got to do. And you're just right down the road from you. Appreciate your answers. Um, my goal is $150,000. It can be done. DJ did 200 and almost 300,000 this year. Pretty much working part time. I'm definitely 100% planning on competing with you this year, neighbor. You ain't competing with me, you'll be competing with DJ. Don't just come into the industry to make money. Try and enjoy the process. It's an amazing industry and very fulfilling when helping people and making them happy. 100%. 5 stars on Google will make your phone ring. It can, yes. When should I start hiring? How many installs and revenue? So that's a good question. So you can do 100,000 with you on the truck. You can do 400,000 and you on the truck. It's not the best place for you, but you can do it. I know somebody that did it this year. So this is what I would say is I would at least hire a helper. And if you can find a guy and have one crew, will help you a lot. Like so because as you grow a Christmas light business or any business, you get busier. And if you're not answering the phone and getting quotes out fast, then that's a problem. And you might hire, maybe you like the truck, maybe you're great at the truck, maybe you suck at sales. Then hire an office manager and let them run it and have the answering the phone and teach them how to do it and all of that, right? There's I know many wives and women that answer the phone and run the whole business for these companies, and they're $1 million. One of them I'm thinking is $1 million company, right? And so it's definitely something that as you start growing, it is something that you got to look at and kind of go with it from there. Cold calling property manager companies is my go to. 2024, 3 shopping plazas. 2025, 35 plazas. Just got 3 more this year so far in Florida. Awesome. Exactly. Right? Cold calling works. Call 10 people every day and you'll be surprised what happens. Go find them on LinkedIn. Go send them a message there. Do whatever. I'm going to start this year. I'm a garbage truck driver. Get off early enough to knock out houses Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah. Pink Pro Wash, Jeremy Main, my good friend Jeremy. He was a truck driver, he was a garbage man for 16 years. And last year, or this year, he's at like 1.1 or $1.2 million in their business. So definitely something that can happen. I agree with Daniel, and I will be the type of competitor that will help DJ and Mike Fresh Rents if I can because they're in my area. Yep. Yep. So, nobody giving me their goal or what they're going to do in marketing. I'll check him out. Yeah, Pink Pro Wash. How do you balance trying to get jobs but not working when it's too cold? Well, the one thing about it is a lot of times when it's cold, nobody's calling you. So that is one of the things. And so this is the time of year that we start working on our marketing. This is the time of year we get working on our becoming better at social media. This is a time of year, a lot of times people think, oh, it's wintertime, I'm not doing nothing. And that is the wrong thing, a way of thinking. This is the time that if you do your own SEO, you're writing blog posts, you're writing city pages, you're doing that. You are working on your Google business profile. You are making sure it's up to date. You're making sure that it has pictures from this year. You are responding to people's reviews because you didn't respond to them before, which you should. And so this is the time of year that we are making sure that we're doing the things that we need to do and getting systems in place so when the springtime comes and the busy season comes, that things are smoother and they're not chaos. Because if we don't do that, it will become chaos if we are not going after and making things, figuring it out now. So let's take this here. So let's say, in 2026, I want to I want to have another truck that I'm not on. Well, do you have a checklist for this truck? Do you have the checklist of how they install lights? Do you have a checklist to how they are going to clean? Do you have it worked out step by step so that way they can make sure that things are simple? Because if you just be like, just do it this way, and this is how I always do it, that person's going to be looking at you going, and then you're going to be complaining that you just can't find no good help. No, you just can't train good help. You don't have systems for your help. So they are helpless at that point. And whose fault is it? Your fault. It ain't their fault, it's your fault because you didn't make sure that you had kept it easy and do it whatever. Be careful cold calling there. Um, let's see. $275,000 in commercial. That's awesome. That's really awesome. That's amazing. We love commercial. Jason, can you tell me what systems I should start with for Christmas lights? What systems are you wanting to work on? Are you talking about how you answer the phone and get leads through? Or are you talking about how to install quicker? Are you talking about the systems of what systems are you working on? Because there's lots of different systems, right? Systems of how we so what's the system of the lead? Is it when they call in, what do you do? From there, what happens? From there, what happens? Are you sending quote reminders? Are you doing that? Or are we talking about how do we get the job done quicker? Because there's lots of different systems. And the system of to get the lights done quicker is are we pre-bulbing and clipping? Are we who's pre-bulbing and clipping? Because I don't want my roof guy pre-bulbing and clipping because he can be making me $2,000 an hour versus sitting there making me nothing, only $50. So that's something that we got to look at the systems, right? And it doesn't matter what system we're talking about. We just need systems so that way we know how do we make sure that it's smooth so in the end we're not pulling our hair out and going crazy. What's up, Mr. Hunter? from Virginia. Um, Here is a marketing challenge. We started using Google Ads, went through the entire process end to end. As soon as it started, the phone rang off the hook with people asking if I was hiring all day. uh, yeah, that happens sometimes. Make sure your ad is definitely not that type. And sometimes people are going to do that. You just don't know. Um, Actually, DJ bought his hot water unit because he got called off an LSA ad because he was looking for pressure washer, and then the dude called him like, "You want a hot water pressure washer? It's $1,000." And so me and DJ went and picked it up because it was a heck of a deal. So yeah, that can be something that you need to look at to add as a negative keyword, possibly. Maybe if if it's when you look up your keywords on your Google business on your Google ads, look and see if it's like pressure washing hiring or something to do with hiring, and Google may be sending it to you. The other thing too is make sure that your keywords on your Google ads are not broad match, because if it's broad match, Google can Google will send you everybody. They don't care. So don't do broad match. Either do exact match or what's the other one? Exact match, or there's two of them that's not broad match. You don't want broad match. I never run broad match, because if you run broad match, they'll send you every Tom, Dick, and Harry that has nothing. Like I've had that I put in my negative keywords, like how to pressure washer a mattress. I'm just like, do what? So that can come that way. So I would definitely look at your keywords and your negative keywords and make sure that they're not broad match. Make sure that they are exact match. So exact match means it has to be exact. The other word, I can't remember what it's called, but it has to be any of those words in there as long as they're in there. We totally got screwed by the certified Google company that got paid per call to our business time. The second I canceled, it stopped. Goal this year is to read 12 books for self improvement, business, and self development, all the above. Any suggestions? Um, the posted job for hire on Facebook Marketplace. Gotcha. So, books, I got suggestions. I got lots of suggestions. Actually, I'm gonna go to my books because that way I don't forget anything. So Think and Grow Rich. Even if you've read it once, I'd tell you to read it again because you can never read it too much. Um, this has been a pretty good book. The Experience Economy. Um, it's been a really good kind of book to kind of open your eyeballs up a little bit to what that is. Let's see what other some other books that I would give you. This is another good book, Never Eat Alone. If you've never read that book, that's a great book too. Never Eat Alone. No BS Marketing to the Affluent is another great book. If you haven't read the Hermosi books, I would tell you those books are definitely good. Endless Customers, which I promote a lot. I like Endless Customers. Definitely a great book. Um, if you start going down the laws, so Napoleon Hill's um, book before Think and Grow Rich was The Law of Success, which is a good book too. Um, Eat What You Kill is a pretty decent book. It's an interesting book too. Um, Let me see. Story Brand 2.0. Donald Miller's new book, or it's the newer book of the older book, is a good book. I'm just giving you all my books, aren't I? Let's see. great book here is The Gold Standard. It's about the gold standard. It's about the Ritz-Carlton hotels and stuff. Amazing book. Great book. Um, Rocket Fuel is a good book. Rocket Fuel is a really good book. The Way of the Wolf is an amazing book. It's a great book. I like it a lot. It's a great book. Um, Unreasonable Hospitality. I know some of these are a lot about customer service and stuff, but Buy Back Your Time is a great book by Dan Kennedy. The Winning Attitude. Choose Your Enemies Wisely. Amazing book. Definitely read that one. Choose Your Enemies Wisely. This is by Patrick Bet David. It's his book, which is a great book. Um, so there's some. I've got some more, but I think I more than 12. um, we got a nice call from a property manager that the budget that we've been trying to get approved got approved. Took over 2 years. It's more than our first year revenue, and we're the sole vendor. That's pretty awesome, Hunter. And again, it's about being consistent, right? It's about building relationships. It's about consistently going after that. And so that's amazing. That is amazing. Man, I'm late. I'm sorry. That's all right, George. How are you doing tonight, George? Okay, I'm done complaining. How do you feel about LinkedIn for commercial clients? I think it's amazing. Absolutely amazing is what I think. Um, are you talking pressure washing or Christmas sites? Either one, I think it's amazing. Pressure washing, I know it's amazing. I got one of my local guys here, Benjamin Gregory. He did about 1.8 million in 2024. I don't know what he did last year in 2025. I haven't talked to him, but he's probably close to 2 million, I bet. And it's probably 75% is commercial, all off of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an amazing tool. Like you can, if you use it right, like you can send videos of you can build that personal relationship with it, which does amazing. Hunter said, just want to encourage those who are working with big companies that sometimes it takes a lot of work and time, but don't give up. I try my best, but I hate reading. Always have done. Well, and that's why I listen, right? I have my audiobooks. So these are all my audiobooks. And so like I've been working out at the gym, and so it's actually been kind of nice because I've gotten away from I don't drive much anymore, so I don't get to listen to books or podcasts anymore. So I've actually gotten to listen to some podcasts, and I've gotten to listen to some books, and that's awesome. My only problem is lead flow. Got to get more leads. Got to do more marketing then. I have over 3,000 followers on LinkedIn. Use that. Think and Grow Rich. What did you put? Think and Grow Rich. uh, Puts me to sleep every time I listen. Have to actually read it. Actually, I like to listen to it, and right now I'm going through a book thing with Tim Burgess, and he makes it kind of simple. It's really been great. And so I've actually never read the actual book. And so with 75 Hard, I'm about halfway through the book. And so it actually makes it even more interesting. Jason, in your opinion, what is more important, small daily goals or one big monthly goal? Small daily goals. You'll get way more done with small daily goals than you will with one big giant goal. Um, right? If we can do one thing every day, if we can accomplish one or two things every day, we're going to be so far ahead than we hoping for this big giant goal at the end of the month. So that's why small, it's we can only focus on today, right? Yesterday's done gone. Tomorrow's not here. Only thing I can do is today. So if I'm going to do three things, I'm going to accomplish three things a day. And you don't want them big. Sometimes you make these three things and they're huge. No, three things that are going to make me where I want to be at. Now, the big goal is good, but what do we need to break it down to the daily goals so we can get to that big goal? So that's why I like the daily goals. The small daily goals get you so much further, right? If we improve ourselves 1% every day, then a year we've improved ourselves 365% more, improved ourselves, right? And so that's why the daily goals are so important, is because we can focus on today. I can't focus on the end of the year, the end of the month, whatever. I can only focus today. And so those small daily goals do so much better for you. The big goal is good because then we can break it down and reverse engineer it to what we need to do every day to get to that big goal. But the daily goals are way better for people that, especially with ADD that most business owner has. We look at that big goal and then we're like squirrel, right? And we don't get to that goal because we've squirreled. Versus if I failed today and I didn't get it done today, then tomorrow, guess what? I can get it done. If I get here and I don't get it done and I squirreled, then that's my problem. So just my thought behind it. But I think that's, the more people you listen to, they'll tell you the same thing. All right. Well, if you want to learn about pressure washing, I have a class coming up in person at kpwtrain.com, kpwtrain.com. And if you want to learn about landscape lighting and permanent lighting, I have a class coming up there too, christmaslights.io. This is a landscape lighting class that is a hands-on landscape lighting class, and the permanent lights is hands-on. You'll get to do the setup, you'll learn about the lights, you'll learn all kinds of awesome stuff about that. Not only that, you'll learn how to grow the business, right? You can be the best permanent light person, the best landscape lighting person, you can be the best pressure washer, but if you don't know how to market your business, it doesn't do you no good. Zero good. Done. Like, you will lose more than you're worth. So that's day in the middle of learning of how to grow the business, how to make sure that you are, I'll talk about sales and marketing and AI, and I go in depth on all of it. And this year I'm actually looking at changing a little bit of what I do because I want it more interactive. I want to get you when you're not feeling comfortable, because if you're in your comfort zone, you're not going to grow. And I want you to grow. I know what it takes to get to $1 million. I've helped many businesses get to $1 million. I've helped thousands of businesses get to $100,000. I know what it takes to get there. I know what you got to do. And so that's why I'm shaping it to help people get to their goals of what that might be. And so that's exactly what I want to do. And so if you want to go check that out, also every Monday night, if you join King of Pressure Wash or christmaslights.io, we do Monday night marketing Zoom calls. This month right now, we're talking about Google. And so if you want to go check out the old ones, we talked about just Google in general. Last week we talked about reviews. We'll be talking about pictures and posts and all that stuff coming up this month. So it is definitely something that you may want to think about looking at. It's a great community of people. You can come in and ask questions, and there's some awesome people in this group. It's an amazing mastermind of just people that have the same common goal. And some are just starting out, and some are at the $1 million range, and everywhere in between. And so it's an awesome group of how you're able to grow this business. Going to be put out 500 yard signs by the end of April for mowing, raising prices, crunching routes. I'm 14 days into my daily goals. I have to do one every day, no matter how small. Exactly. Exactly right, Jason. As long as you take action, believe in yourself. If you know your worth, you don't be afraid, and definitely don't be $99 guy, right? Exactly. So, with that, go have an amazing week this week. Stay warm. Even you Florida guys are getting down in the 20s. I don't know if you know what to do when it gets that cold, but stay warm out there and go take action. It's amazing what can happen. Take one step in front of the next, and you will grow your business. Again, I love this sweatshirt. Decide and do, right? Quit dilly dallying around, decide and go do it. It's amazing what happens. If it's not right, then fix it. If you just sit there and you procrastinate, you never get anything done. So decide and do, and go have a great week this week. And we'll see you all later.